Huh? What?
Rotation.
Yes. Okay. The second parameter is torque. Second parameter is torque. What do you mean by torque?
Amount of
What do you mean by torque?
acceleration.
Acceleration.
Amount of force required
Force.
for the
Rotational acceleration.
Torque is basically a force with certain angle. A force with angle is known as torque. Okay. Force with angle. So anything which revolves, it doesn't have force. It has torque. Let's take example of your car wheels. Car wheels have torque. Your bike wheels have torque. So anything which have rotational force is known as torque. So all the time DC motors, your AC motors, it rotates, it forms 0 to 360 degree. Okay, so it will have always torque, right? Force is your push and pull. Force is your push and pull, and torque is your rotational force. Got it? The torque is another parameter which is measured in terms of NCM. NCM, Newton centimeter. Okay, or Newton per centimeter, NCM. Okay, torque. The another parameter, performance parameters, these two are clear, speed and torque. The another performance parameter is your pressure. Another performance parameter is pressure. Okay.
And mercury.
Huh?
Mercury.
Pressure. Okay. And pressure is the pressure which is exerted by your handpiece on the cutting area. Okay. Now we need to understand relationship between the torque and speed. Okay. And pressure. Now first thing, torque and speed are inversely proportional. It means that when you have a high speed, you will have a less torque. And when you have a high torque, you will have a less speed. Okay. This relation is there in between speed and torque that you always have to remember. Now how this relation plays a vital role. Okay. Just to keep in your mind, for hard tissue, for cutting of hard tissue, always remember this relationship. Cutting of hard tissue, you require high speed, less torque. For hard tissue, high speed, less torque, and for soft tissues, high torque, less speed. Always keep this relationship in your mind. For hard tissues, high speed, less torque. For soft tissue, high torque, less speed. Okay. That is why your air rotors, these are your air rotors, it rotates at the speed of 3 lakh RPM. This air rotors rotates at the speed of 3 lakh RPM. Why? Because we are supposed to cut animal dentin from this handpiece, right? Animal and dentin is a hard tissue. Okay. But your endomotors rotate at maximum RPM of 12,000, and that too we used to reduce it somewhere near about 500 RPM or 700 RPM. Why? Because we are working in a pulp chamber. Pulp chamber is a soft tissue where we require high torque, less speed. Got this relationship? The pressure. The more the speed, the more the pressure. More the speed, more the pressure, subjected to contact area. Right? Because area is also, because pressure, the formula for pressure is what?
Pressure.
Yeah. Formula for pressure is what? Force upon area.
Force upon
P is equal to force upon area. Okay. So, sorry, that is not speed, that is torque. Okay. More torque, more pressure. More torque, more pressure. Less torque, less pressure. Why? Because torque is ultimately what? Force. Angular force is torque. Torque is ultimately what? Force, angular force, right? So if you increase the force, you will increase the pressure, right? But if you increase the area, you will decrease the pressure. Why? It is present in the inverse relation. Getting my point or not? Should I repeat it? Okay. If you are applying a pressure on this area, it would be less. If you are applying a pressure on this area, it would be high. Smaller the area, high the pressure. Higher the area, less the pressure. Means this is a function of your burr diameter. What's the diameter of your burr? The more the diameter of burr, less the pressure would be. Less the pressure diameter of your burr, higher the pressure would be. Right. Another thing is your another parameter is rate of cutting. Rate of cutting. For handpiece, the another performance parameter is rate of cutting. Okay. What is the rate of cutting? Rate of cutting? The speed of cutting basically. Okay, and rate of cutting is proportional with your speed. Higher the speed, higher the rate of cutting. Higher the speed, higher the rate of cutting. Rate of cutting is proportional with speed. Okay. I am not saying just mind my words. I am not saying rate of cutting is directly proportional with speed. I am saying it's proportional. It's proportional means increase in the speed will increase in cutting, but not in a direct proportion. Direct proportion means what? For example, when it is possible, direct proportion means, let's say I have increased A by 10, then B have increased 20. I have made A 20, then B has to become 40. It means it's a direct proportion, right? But if I have increased A 10 to 20, at 20 the B is 25. Means it's proportion, but it is not directly proportional. Got it? The another one is heat generation. Another parameter is heat generation. Heat generation. The another parameter is heat generation. Heat generation is proportional with your speed and torque. Both. Higher the speed and torque, higher the heat and higher the heat generation. Okay. Why heat generation is one of the major performance parameter for handpiece? Because we have two temperature markers with us. What are these two temperature markers with us? 113 and 130. 113 Fahrenheit will cause an pulpitis, that is inflammation of your pulp, and 130 Fahrenheit will cause a pulpal necrosis. So whenever we are operating at any site by your handpiece, we have to keep one thing in our mind, that we have to keep the temperature of the cutting site or operating site lesser than 113 Fahrenheit, so that we should not deliver any unintentional damage to the patient, right? Because we don't want our patient to suffer from pulpitis. But if we are not able to control the heat, what will happen? The pulpitis will occur. Pulpitis is nothing but inflammation of your pulp. Got it? So that is why heat is one of the very important parameters. Got it? So how many parameters are altogether?
5.
5? Huh? 5 or 6? 6. I think 6. It would be 6. Huh? 6. Rate of cutting is there. Torque, speed, pressure, heat generation. Huh?
Speed of handpiece is first, torque second, pressure
Okay.
third, rate of cutting fourth, heat generation.
Okay.
Any other good?
Okay, fine. Oh shit. So these are the performance parameters. So for any handpieces, this information you should have. Right. Now we are coming to the classification of handpieces. How to classify handpieces, right? Because see, doctor will ask you, I need a contra-angle. Doctor will ask you, I need a high speed. Okay. So what are the classification of handpieces? The first classification of handpieces is on the basis of driving mechanism. First classification is on the basis of driving mechanism. We have 4 type of handpieces. Okay. Air driven. First one is air driven. Air driven. AIR driven, DRIVEN driven. Air driven. Second one is water driven. Third one is belt driven. Belt, BELT, belt driven. And last one is gear driven. Last one is gear driven. Out of these 4, water and belt driven is a story of old days. Water and belt driven are out of market. Nowadays only 2 things are there. your air driven and gear driven. Air driven is your air rotors and gear driven are your micromotor based handpieces. Got it? Just keep in your mind, gear driven are your micromotor based handpieces and your air driven are your air rotors. The another classification is based on the head size of the handpiece. This is head size of the handpiece. Okay, head size can be of three types: standard head, small head, and mini head. Standard, small, and mini head. Right? Why this head of the handpiece matters for you? Because, for example, if you wanted to work with pedo patient, for pedo patient we have a lesser mouth opening, so we need a less small head size. That is the one purpose for the accessibility, and the other purpose is visibility. If your head size will be bigger, then your visibility get poor. If your head size will be smaller, then visibility will be good. So head size matters for what? Accessibility and visibility. Right. The another classification is based on speed. Another classification is based on speed. The classification based on speed. The first one is low speed handpieces. Low speed handpieces are your up to 12,000 rpm. Low speed handpieces are up to 12,000 rpm. Handpiece which comes with a speed limit of 12,000 is known as low speed. Then we have another category called medium speed or intermediate speed handpieces. Medium speed or intermediate speed handpieces. This lies between 12,000 to 40,000 rpm. Okay. Anything which is greater than 12,000, okay, and goes up to 40,000 is your intermediate speed or medium speed. The last one is high speed handpieces. That is up to 2 lakh. Okay. Anything beyond 40,000 is known as high speed handpieces. Got it? On the speed, how you can classify 12,000, 40,000 and beyond 40,000. Got it? Okay. The another classification comes on the basis of gear ratio. The another classification comes on the basis of gear ratio. Okay. The another classification comes on the basis of gear ratio. First one is 1:1. First classification is 1:1. It is known as same ratio. Same ratio 1:1. Okay. It is represented by blue color. It is represented by blue color. Okay. It is represented by blue color. 1:1 means the speed of micromotor. The speed of micromotor will be same as the speed of your burr. Or you can say a speed of burr will be same as the speed of your micromotor. 1:1 means what? This ratio shows. This ratio means 1:1 means what? This is the 1:1. This first represents the input. This first ratio represents the input and the second one represents the output. Now input is given by whom? Input is given by micromotor. So first ratio will tell you about the speed of your micromotor, and this is the speed of your burr. This is the speed of your burr. That is the output. Okay. So in the same ratio, we have a speed of micromotor and speed of burr is same. That is represented by blue color. Now we have another ratio which is known as increasing handpieces. It is represented by red color or red band. Increasing handpieces. Okay. The most common example is 1:2, 1:4, 1:5. What do you mean by this? A single rotation of your micromotor will cause a 2 rotation of your burr. Right? A single rotation of your micromotor will cause a 4 rotation of your burr. Single rotation of your micromotor will cause a 5 rotation of your burr. It means it is an increasing handpiece. Why? Because input is low and the output is high. It means it is an increasing handpiece. Right? Now what is the requirement? why we require increasing handpieces and why we require decreasing handpieces. You know why? Because micromotor will come with a certain speed limit. Let's say any micromotor is there, will come with a maximum speed of 10,000 RPM. Right? Any micromotor is there which comes with a maximum speed of 10,000 RPM. Now I want 40,000 RPM. Now I want 40,000 RPM. So if I don't have a ratio handpieces, it is not possible to achieve a 40,000 RPM by a micromotor which can offer you a maximum 10,000 RPM. Okay, so what do you require? You require an increasing ratio handpiece. And which one you require? 1:4. Right. So what is the purpose of having a ratio handpieces? Increasing is to go beyond the maximum speed of micromotor, and decreasing is to again go beyond to the minimum speed of your micromotor. Okay, if you want to go beyond the minimum speed of your micromotor, then you will use decreasing one. If you want to go beyond the maximum speed of your micromotor, you will use increasing one. Clear? Clear? The another ratio is a decreasing ratio. Decreasing ratio handpieces. Okay, which is required, which is represented by green color. Which is represented by green color. Okay, the most common example is 20:1. The most common example of your decreasing handpiece is 20:1. Most common one is 20:1. Means 20 time rotation, 20 rotation of your micromotor will cause one rotation of your bar. And these kind of handpieces are most of the time, this kind of handpieces are used in case of your endomotors application. I can tell you, in case of endomotors, in case of physio dispensers. Okay, bone surgery units. Okay, in bone surgery units we require 20:1. In case of your this endomotors we require 20:1 and represented by green color. So if you are not able to remember this blue, red and green, okay, by the time you will able to remember it, no issues. But as of now, if you are not able to recall it, right, what is the another way by which you can identify this is an increasing handpiece or this is a decreasing or this is a same? Okay, the another way which I have told you is just to keep remember one thing. The first ratio will represent the input and second one will represent the output. Right? If the input is less and output is more, it means it is an increasing. Input is less, output is more, it means it is an increasing. Now, if it is input is high or output is less, it means it is an decreasing. So by the ratio also you can identify which type of handpiece this one is, and this ratio, yes, yeah, which one? This one, yeah. And by ratio also, okay, by ratio also you can identify increasing, decreasing or same. And one more thing I want to tell you here, the ratio handpieces are used only with micromotors. Okay, there is no ratio air rotors are there in the market, right? So how you will identify this is a micromotor based handpiece or this is a air rotor?
So
Okay.
gear.
Huh?
Micromotor gear type.
Yeah. If there is a gear is mentioned, on the handpiece, if there is a gear is mentioned, then it is a micromotor based handpiece. If no gear ratio is mentioned, then it means it is an air rotor, air based. Right? This is how you can identify. Okay. So gear driven will be always your micromotor based handpieces, and air driven would be always your air rotors. Got it? Now we have two type of micromotors: air micromotor and electrical micromotors. Okay. Air micromotor will again have a gear based this handpiece.
So this handpiece is 40 watt, 60 watt. What is that basically?
Yeah, this he is talking about what is the watt of the handpiece, right? Actually, see, what do you mean by power? What do you mean by power?
There is no color.
There is no color. It means that no ratio. It means that it's an air rotor. It's an air rotor. In an air rotor, we don't have any speed things, right? No ratio, no color, air rotor. If ratio and color is mentioned, then it means it is an micromotor based handpiece. That's what I have told you just now, right? He is asking, he's having a very good question that what is handpiece power? Sometimes 18 watt, 16 watt, 22 watt, 30 watt handpieces are coming. What is that power is? Okay, that power is nothing but that power which is available, a maximum power which is available with the burr to do the task is known as that power. Okay, it is again calculated in terms of watt. Okay, but there is no method available to verify this speed at the clinical end. You cannot verify that power at clinical end. Okay, that is something, that power is measured in the R&D situations. Okay, and by that the manufacturer used to quote, my handpiece offers 16 watt, 30 watt, 20 watt, 22 watt. Okay, normally the range of watt power offered by the manufacturers are near about somewhere 20 to 24 watts. Got it? The another classification comes is on the basis of angulation. On the basis of angulation. Okay, on the basis of angulation we have a straight handpiece. First is straight handpiece. In a straight handpiece, the angle between your head and shank would be 0 degree. The angle between your head and shank would be 0 degree. This is kind of straight handpiece. The burr will attach straight, right? And straight handpiece most of the time used for your lab works and your anteriors. For your anterior teeth and for your lab work, straight handpiece. The angle between head and shank would be 0 degree. 0 or 360 you can call. Right? 0 and 360 means straight.
Both are same.
Right. Next one is right angle. Right angle handpiece. Right angle handpiece are sometimes known as prophy angle also. Right angle handpieces are sometimes known as prophy angle handpieces also.
Coffee.
Prophy, P-R-O-P-H-Y. Prophy angle handpieces, or it is known as right angle also. When there is an angle between your neck and head would be 90 degree, like this, straight 90 degree. It is known as right angle handpiece. Right? It is known as right angle handpiece. And last one is contra angle. Last one is contra angle. Contra angle means 45 degree. Contra angle means 45 degree. When your shank and neck make a combination of 45 degree, see, 45 degree is known as contra angle. Okay, or contra angle can be considered as any other angle except 0 and 90 would be your contra. Any angle except 0 and 90, because 0 will be your straight, 90 would be your right. So except 0 and 90, any other would be your contra angle. Got it? Now the classification is done on the basis of holding mechanism. On the basis of holding mechanism. Okay. On the basis of holding mechanism, we have two type of handpieces: a push button type, and a chuck type. Okay. In chuck type, we require a wrench to open and put the burr and then tighten it. One option. The other one is push button type. Another one is push button type. This one is push button. Yeah. Another one is chuck type. In chuck, we have a wrench. Okay. In wrench, and by which we used to open, we used to loosen up the cap, we used to put the burr, and then again you have to tighten it. That is a chuck type. Yeah. You need a wrench basically. Okay. Got it? So these are the classification of your handpieces. Right. Now the working of your handpieces. Okay. The working of your handpieces. Okay. The one of the most common thing, you add one more parameter in performance parameter, that is tactile sensation. That is tactile sensation. Okay. Tactile sensation. Tactile means touch, and sensation means feel. Right? Tactile sensation. We always want or expect that our handpiece should offer me a very good tactile sensation. Why? You know, when we are using handpiece during the dental procedures, okay, during the normal general dental procedure, when we are using a handpiece, we used to make the procedure blind. We used to make the procedure blind, means where my handpiece is working, I cannot see it during the work. Right? I can only sense it by the touch. I can only sense it. Now, imagine my handpiece turbine is creating huge vibrations. My turbine of handpiece is creating huge vibrations, right? So, am I able to sense where my burr is working? No. I'll be only sensing the vibration from generating from my handpiece, right? So, what I want, the vibration generated by my handpiece or my micromotor should be as less as possible, so that I can actually sense where my burr is doing cutting. Why? Because the feedback from the burr of cutting animal is different, feedback from the burr of cutting dentin is different, and the feedback from your file, okay, into the different zones of pulp chamber would be different, okay, and that has to be sensed by a dentist. That is the only sensation, because RCT, root canal treatment, is a complete blind procedure. Okay, dentist is not seeing anything what he or she is doing. It's a complete blind procedure. Only one thing matters is your tactile sensation. You are just able to feel where you are working. That's all. So can you imagine how important parameter this one? And this is the only difference between the low cost handpieces and the very branded handpieces. Okay, sometimes people can ask you, okay, why I should go for a handpiece which is costing 22,000 rupees? Okay, why I should not go for a handpiece which is of costing 2,000 rupees? Right. The difference is of these parameters which I have told you, the performance parameters, speed, torque, heat generation, pressure, cutting efficiency, rate of cutting, and then your tactile sensation. And tactile is one of the most important factor, okay, on which you have to give a stress. Okay, when you are talking with the doctor also,